Welcome to Shom Machshava and Daf Shir Sponsor Lo Nishma Sam Yaakov Labas Yitzchok. We're holding in Avoda Zara Daf from Beis. The Goyim with Beis brings the concept of Boba Pritzi Mechilalua. When the Goyim go into Beis Hamikdash, they take away the Kedusha Beis Hamikdash, they make it Chulin. In the beginning of the Sugya, it's Mashma, the Rebbe disagrees with this idea. Because Rabbi Yossi ben Shol asks Rebbe if the Kalim that were used in Beis Choynyoy, in a place which is not Avoda Zara, can you use it in Beis Hamikdash? And Rebbe says that the Kelim were Asur, and he learns it from the Kelim of Achos that were used for Avoda Zara. Now, though one can argue and say the Rebbe does not disagree with the concept that Goyim make things chilul, because Rebbe is talking about when Jews are making something, and that doesn't become chalal. But if Goyim will come into Beis Hamikdash, he will agree that Pritzi v'chilalua will apply. But at least in the Pashup Shah and the Gemara, we don't find that Rebbe agrees or disagrees with this concept. Based on this, the Chasam Sofer says a Gavaldik idea, which is very nugea to the Yonim of this month. The Chasam Sofer brings the Gemara in Tainis that says that the majority of the burning of Beis Hamikdash happened on the 10th of Chodesh Av, not the 9th of Chodesh Av. And he brings the Gemara in Tainis that says, if I was there, I would make Tisha B'Av on the 10th of Chodesh Av, not on the 9th. And the Gemara there in Tainis says, true, most of Beis Hamikdash was burned on the 10th, but we go based on the beginning, and the beginning of the burning started on the 9th. And we have a similar Gemara, the Gemara in Megillah Daf Ham with Beis says, the Rebbe did a few things that they didn't agree with him. And one of them was Bikesh La'akor Tisha B'Av. He wanted to take away Tisha B'Av. So Tosfos in Megillah there asks, Rebbe wanted to take away the idea of Tisha B'Av? So he says, no, Rebbe wanted to make Tisha B'Av on the 10th of Av, on the 10th day of Chodesh Av, not the 9th day. Because he agreed with Rabbi Yochanan that the main part of Beis Hamikdash was burned on the 10th. So says the Chasam Sofer, Gevaldik based on our Sugya. The reason why we do Tisha B'Av on the 9th and on the 10th, because you have the idea of Boba Pritzi Mechilalua. Once the Goyim went to Beis Hamikdash and burned the Beis Hamikdash, the whole Kedusha Beis Hamikdash was gone. Now that it's burning and going into the 10th, it's already something which has no Kedusha. That's why we commemorate Tisha on the 9th. But Rebbe L'Shitasa in our Sugya, he disagreed with this concept of Boba Pritzi Mechilalua. He held that the Kalim and the stones of Beis Hamikdash still have Kedusha. Therefore, he wanted to say the Ikar Churban is on the 10th of Av and on the 9th of Av because he doesn't hold the idea of Boba Pritzi v'Chilalua. But our meaning to have Tisha B'Av on the 9th is because of the concept of this Gemara. That's what Chasam Sofer says. He brings it both in Tshuva and Chaim Siman Amud Gimel, and there in Megillah Daf Hamud Beis, that's how he builds up this idea of the Machlokes based in our Gemara. Just to mention, with the question of the Chasam Sofer, really the question of the Gemara and Tainis, why really we are commemorating Tisha B'Av on the 9th and on the 10th. So, except the answer of the Chasam Sofer, we find two other answers. One answer is brought down in a few of the Achronim. One of them is Or Sameach and Echus Tainis. They want to say when the Gemara tells us that the Churban Beis Hamikdash was mainly on the 10th and on the 9th, that was only Bayis Rishon, only the first Beis Hamikdash. But the second Beis Hamikdash, it was burned mainly on the 9th, and that's our commemoration, which is mainly focused on the second Beis Hamikdash, goes on the 9th, now on the 10th. But the answer, which is brought down in many of the Poskim, is what the Arizal brings in Shar Kavonos. Shar Kavonos brought down a question that was asked, and the Arizal comes to answer. What's shot that we come to Tisha B'Av, in the Chatzos Hayom of Tisha B'Av, we sit on a chair. The Avelus is a little bit diminished. We say Psukim of Nechama. You can add to that, that's when we put on Tefillin. What changed? If the main Beis Hamikdash was burned on the 10th, the burning happened in the end of the day of the 9th. Now you're in a little bit less of Avelus. Says the Arizal, Big Yesoid, which is the whole concept of Tisha B'Av, the continuation of the days after Tisha B'Av. He says once the Beis Hamikdash was burned, so Am Yisrael knew that Kilo Chamasol Eitziv Avonim. Because Baruch Hu put his anger, so to speak, on the stones and on the wood, on the edifice of Beis Hamikdash, but not on Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael was worried, maybe we're going to be destroyed. Maybe it's the end of Klal Yisrael, Chas Hashem. When Beis Hamikdash was burned, then Am Yisrael saw, the Churban is on the house. The Churban is on the Beis Hamikdash. The Churban is now in Klal Yisrael. And that's why in the middle of Tisha B'Av we come to a Nechama. And this goes with the same theme that the Arizal brings at Pri Etz Chaim. That says over there that what's the reason we do Kiddush Levana on Motzei Tisha B'Av? Even though we're still in Avelus, the Ramah says you should not do Kiddush Levana on Motzei Tisha B'Av because we're still in Avelus. He says, no, at the end of Tisha B'Av, we come into a concept of Nechama, because we know now Am Yisrael will be reborn the same way the Levana is reborn. Shem Hasidin Nischadash Kemoiso. So comes out the end of Tisha B'Av, the second part of Tisha B'Av, is already a beginning of the Nechama. That's the reason Mashiach is born then. That's what the Arizal part brings down as well. Once Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, but not Am Yisrael, that's already a beginning of the Nechama, and that's where the Ikar Avelu is on the 9th and not on the 10th. That's the Mahalach according to the Arizal. And this is how we treat the days that come after Tisha B'Av. Anyone want to join Shom Machshava, email us to WhatsApp, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.